Hudson Mobley's family and friends describe him as a self-motivated and dependable young person with an eye for the arts. He's captain of the swim team, manages a girls' basketball team, and plans to study biomedical engineering in college. But perhaps one of his greatest achievements happened when he was just 16 years old. He saved a man's life. Take a look at this week's Louisiana Young Hero. Life is a series of indirect decisions. Some lead to inconsequential outcomes, but others dramatically shift the trajectory of your life. For Hudson Mobley, that decision would start with swimming.
When I was in 6th grade, I didn't do any extracurriculars. I was just kind of a student, and I wanted to do something, so I decided to join the swim team with a couple of my friends. It's really changed my life. You know, I've done it for so many years.
Hudson rose through the ranks of his middle school swim program, quickly becoming a beloved member of the team. But his decision to join would indirectly affect his journey. Swimming would lead to lifeguard jobs, CPR training, and ultimately Hudson saving someone's life. Think of it like a set of circumstances made possible by impeccable timing.
I knew something was wrong and I jumped out of the cart, made sure to see what was happening.
A man collapsed on a golf course at Hudson's country club job when he was 16. Normally on lifeguard duty, this day he was working the courses with a friend when both decided to stop. Another one of life's small decisions. You're walking up, there's all of these people that are crowded around this man. What did he look like at this point?
He was laid down. They put something under his head to make sure he wasn't like concussed or anything. And he was, he couldn't breathe.
In this moment, everyone around Hudson was terrified. The man was older and suffering from cardiac arrest. It wasn't clear when the ambulance would show up, so Hudson drew deep within himself, searching for knowledge that could help. Lifeguard training came to mind.
I made sure just to start doing compressions at the proper rate, and it was pretty scary, you know, that's very stressful, but someone came out with an AED, administered that, and then waited for authorities to come, just keep giving compressions, keep letting the AED run.
How long were you doing compressions, do you know?
In the moment, I was not entirely sure. If I had to guess, I'd say around like 5-6 minutes.
Hudson kept compressing until the ambulance showed up and took over. His quick thinking saved this man's life.
Over time, it got a little easier to accept, and I definitely realized that's something that I did, and it's a great thing that I did. It's very wonderful that I, was there at that moment. I'm very lucky to have been right place, right time, and allow that man to keep living.
Something you said, it was easier to accept that you did this. That's an interesting way to put it, easier to accept. What do you mean?
A lot of it was fear, because I didn't know whether that man had lived or died.
Hudson's heroics earned him a certificate of appreciation from the chief of Kenner's Fire Department and the general manager of the country club.
But very impressive talking to both the fire department and the people that were there about, they've seen, people that knew what to do but didn't jump into action and do it.
This event, though life-altering, is hardly Hudson's only achievement. He's a leader among his peers. He's up for swim captain at his school.
Even though he wasn't the captain, the coach is always calling, Hudson, get everybody over here. Hudson, because they know he's just a natural leader. Everybody swarms around him, follows what he says to do, and it's just amazing to watch that in action.
And he manages the girls' basketball team, and when that schedule gets too grueling, he participates in Louisiana Association of Student Councils.
He just recently ran for executive board vice president for next year, and he was telling us about the speeches. They had to give speeches. And he's like, some of the other guys were talking about all the accolades and everything they'd accomplished. And I just told them what student council meant to me and what it's done for me, and I hope that it could do the same for them.
When Hudson is finished with high school, his goal is to continue helping others with a biomedical engineering degree.
I want to do research on stem cells. Heart attacks and strokes and stuff, they permanently damage cells in your heart that can't regenerate. But if we were to be able to successfully use stem cells to help that, the death by heart attack and stroke and heart problems would go down significantly.
This is yet another decision in Hudson's life. Who knows where it'll take him this time? But if his past is any indicator of his future, it's definitely a bright one. And you know, Hudson is a really great kid. I can't imagine saving somebody's life at just 16 years old. And you know, he said that was really difficult for him to work through. So I'm glad he was able to get through it and go on with his life and do incredible things.
And what a great series, you know, honoring our young heroes, younger kids that really deserve the recognition, doing amazing things. So I love what you're doing with this series.
Yes, and we've got more to come. Now, LPB's Louisiana Young Heroes program is presented this year with the generous support of the East Baton Rouge Parish Library and the Gail and Tom Benson Charitable Foundation, with additional support from Community Coffee, the U.S. Army Baton Rouge Recruiting Battalion, Demco, McDonald's, and Origin Hotel, Baton Rouge.